We feel like we have to be perfect before God will accept us or before we can go to church. But really it's more about just God loves us the way we are right now. He doesn't care if you're perfect or not. Just like when I went to church and I was still drinking and living my old life, people accepted me at church and loved me, and I know God still loved me.
Tell me what those years were like.
Well, the years after I had literally turned my back on Christ, and that was in my late 20s, around 30, I decided that I could do it all on my own. I had been ridiculously successful in business as a young man, and it was necessary for me to lose all of that. I literally became homeless.
Well, I know what life was like before I knew him. I was an alcoholic. I was on, my marriage was about finished. And so my husband wanted to start going to church, and I didn't really want to start going to church, even though I had gone as a child.
Always, my husband could vouch for me. I like to sleep in. I didn't want to get up, and that was just, I just want to sleep. I don't want to get up early. I don't want to get ready. And then after, that consistency of going every Sunday, you want to gravitate toward it. I think it's completely saved our marriage.
Returned to Christ, and I'd started finally attending a church. And it was during that period when I was attending this church, I was still getting back on my feet. That's when I met Jane. And there was a decision within me made. When I met Jane, I knew what I wanted the rest of my life to be. And that's what it is now.
It's really a happy feeling when you know that God's inside of you and God reflects through you and people can see it.
But there was a gentleman, a couple, that after my wife and I got married, and she grew up in church, but she never really pressed the issue with me. And he invited me to church. He said that he was going to become the youth leader at their church and would really appreciate my support, and he was my best friend. And I said, well, sure, I'll go, with no intentions of going. And over time, we went, and he challenged me one day. He said, are you willing to risk an eternity of separation from God in something you've never picked up or read or challenged for yourself? So I picked up the Bible from that, and I began to read.